Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer on strategic planning prioritization, rethinking maintenance. So picture this. If you've ever been out on the floor during a major equipment failure, you know exactly how high the stakes can get. The pressure is absolutely immense, the clock is ticking loudly, and plant operations are just hanging in the balance. But here's the thing. How we choose to deploy our strategic planning resources in those highly critical moments can literally mean the difference between a swift, smooth recovery and a completely agonizing delay. Today, we're going to unpack the specific reasons why traditional planning often falls totally flat during emergencies. And, more importantly, we'll explore how rethinking our prioritization can not only streamline those urgent repairs, but actually dramatically reduce breakdowns in the long run. Okay, let's dive into this. Have you ever looked at a totally busted piece of critical equipment, felt the intense, heavy pressure of halted plant operations, and then caught yourself thinking, wait, why is our own planning department actually slowing us down right now? It is a massive source of frustration across the board. Implementing a planning organization is meant to be this huge game changer for efficiency. Yet, for so many companies, these very organizations end up becoming sources of considerable friction and just overall disenchantment for the maintenance effort. Now, the root of this frustration usually isn't a lack of effort from the planners. Actually, it stems from exactly where and how that effort is being applied when things go wrong. There is a bit of a dark irony here that we have to acknowledge. Once equipment has actually broken down and is actively interfering with operating the plant, introducing a planning group often just adds an extra step in the repair process. Now, the stated goal of this step is supposedly, to speed the job up. But the reality on the ground, it feels entirely different. Instead of acting as a catalyst for a quick repair, the planning process becomes this bureaucratic hurdle that literally everybody is forced to wait on, totally stalling the urgent work that desperately needs to get done right now. All right, let's move into our first major pain point. Section 1, the breakdown bottleneck, why planning fails at emergencies. So this brings us right to the core of the disenchantment. We're often trying to apply a very meticulous, slow-paced methodology to a highly volatile, incredibly fast-paced problem. Specifically, we're talking about reactive jobs. By their very nature, these jobs are urgent. They're initiated only after the equipment has already failed and is actively, directly interfering with plant operations. The frustration we were just talking about, it absolutely peaks when planning departments attempt to provide highly detailed work plans for these specific reactive situations. When the alarm bells are ringing, waiting on a planning group to meticulously turn over the work is just incredibly frustrating to absolutely everyone involved. And the delay happens right here, with this specific effort. When faced with a reactive job, planners are essentially handed a scattered jigsaw puzzle while the clock is ticking. They often try to sit down and write highly detailed job plans and come up with these comprehensive parts lists completely from scratch. Just think about the time that takes. While the plant is bleeding productivity, planners are scrambling to document every microscopic step and hunt down obscure part numbers. This exhaustive effort is exactly what delays the execution of the urgent work. It's a well-intentioned process, for sure, but is being applied at the absolute worst possible time, resulting in massive frustration. Let's look at why this happens. Section 2. Supervisor myths and realities. The all-or-nothing trap. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is that the friction isn't just a process problem, it's heavily a perception problem, right there on the shop floor. This quote perfectly captures a widespread misconception. If a detailed job procedure and parts list are not provided, then planning has not done anything. So many supervisors hold on to this myth. They view the planner's value through this rigid all-or-nothing lens. In their eyes, if they aren't handed a perfectly bound, fully comprehensive manual for the repair, they just assume the planning department has completely failed to contribute to the maintenance effort. But as our source material highlights, this all-or-nothing lens is a major myth that actually completely misses the hidden value planning can provide during those emergencies. So, what's the realistic solution? Section 3, the minimal planning strategy. Less is more. The reality is, we need to completely abandon that all-or-nothing mindset. The source reveals that reactive work should actually receive only minimal planning attention before crew assignment. But hey, minimal definitely does not mean zero. What it means is focusing on just 3 simple steps. First, writing down a proper job scope. Just clearly define what needs to be done. Second, identifying the specific craft skill requirements needed. Who exactly do we need for this? And third, estimating the time requirements. Roughly, how long is this going to take? That's it. Just those 3 data points. Most supervisors don't realize the massive value in just getting this basic rapid assessment down on paper. It entirely avoids the trap of starting from scratch with those massive, detailed parts lists, yet it provides just enough structure to keep the urgent response highly organized.
Think about it like this. Without that minimal planning, you get a classic mismatch, like blindly assigning a mechanic to a job that actually needs a welder, which results in subsequent job reassignment, massive delays, and terribly extended equipment downtime. But with minimal planning, you get the correct assignment right from the start. You're putting the welder on the welding job for immediate execution. The supervisor maintains schedule control and totally avoids that disastrous mismatch. So planning absolutely still has a vital job function for these reactive jobs. It's just a heavily streamlined one.
Okay, let's look at the ultimate goal here. Section 4. Proactive maintenance over breakdowns, flipping the script. And this brilliantly illustrates the big picture. If we are minimizing our planning effort on reactive jobs, where should all that meticulous effort actually go? Well, successful organizations concentrate their heavy lifting on planning proactive work. By focusing their efforts on work designed to circumvent later breakdowns, the planning organization can finally produce those excellent, highly detailed work plans, but they do it without the crushing schedule pressure of a halted plant. Now, there is a catch. For this to work, the entire maintenance organization has got to be committed to giving feedback after every job to aid future job plans. When you apply detailed planning proactively and streamline your reactive response, the incredible result is that the overall percentage of your reactive type work begins to naturally decrease over time. Okay, real quick before we wrap up, we need to clarify one extremely vital distinction highlighted in our source material. The concept of reactive versus proactive work is not the same thing as unplanned versus planned work. This is a super common area of confusion, right? Understanding how planning handles reactive versus proactive work is incredibly important for making planning truly leverage your productivity. Now, diving fully into the specific principles of planned versus unplanned work is a pretty deep topic, one that's reserved for a later explainer on reactive maintenance principles. But for now, it's just absolutely essential to keep this distinction firmly in mind. So I want to leave you with this provocative question to chew on today. Is your team planning to prevent breakdowns, or are you just waiting around to react to them? If your planners are constantly writing exhaustive lists while the plant is figuratively burning down, it might be time to seriously rethink your strategic prioritization. Embrace minimal planning for the emergencies and unleash your detailed planning on proactive prevention. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and we'll leave it right there for you to think about until next time.